It is now 7 o'clock. We will begin our regularly scheduled town council meeting. Keith, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will now begin with our presentations and recognitions. First, we'll start with the FLIS Scholarship.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. And hopefully no one's missing the big event up at the high school for graduation tonight. But welcome. And today is another great day for us in the town and for me personally. 4 years now I've been doing this, and every time you think I would get a little bit more fluent, a little more relaxed, a little more easier, something always just comes along and chokes me up. And this year, and today, it's for my friend here, Kayla. I have known Kayla since she was how old?
5, 6 maybe?
We'll say 6-ish at Union School, where I had the great opportunity to, when I was a police officer, to go into the schools in my K-9 DRAC. And that's partially because of her grandmother, Jean. She was on the Board of Ed at that time, and I had to come up and ask for permission, and they gave me a sort of an open blanket to go do whatever I want, be with the kids. And one of the first places I ended up was at Union School. And one of the first people to come up to greet me was Kayla, this little 6-year-old with little pigtails and everything else. And they would make cookies for DRAC. So every week I would just be up there like clockwork. The kids would bring cookies, and that eventually expanded into what's called those bows and something tails. It was a Bow Wow Biscuits. Mm-hmm. Bow Wow Biscuits, where the kids would make cookies, sell it for money. They would take that money for little programs for them in school. So it was a great little partnership. And to watch Kayla from grade school all the way to high school, now to college, has been something really amazing and something I will cherish forever. Not only is she as intelligent and sweet, but she's caring, and she takes every advantage of possibly doing the best she can, and she never has a frown on her face. She's always has the best outlook, and I just can't say enough about you. So she applied for the Stephen A. FLIS Scholarship. This is her second time receiving it. She received it as a freshman at Assumption College, where she's going for rehabilitative services and education.
Human services.
Human services. And now she's entering her senior year. So Stephen A. FLIS, if you don't know, was the town manager here for over 35 years. And this scholarship's been now in place for 36 years, helping our children of Farmington go on to college and pursue their dreams. So without further ado, this award is given to Kayla Barron for her dedication to community service and a betterment of our community. Dated June 13th, 2023, CJ Thomas. Congratulations, my dear. You want to say something, hon? Go ahead, I'll hold it for you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say that it's an honor to be here tonight, first of all, and to receive the Stephen A. FLIS Scholarship for a second time. Community service has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, so it's a great honor to receive this very prestigious award in the name of someone who had such a great impact on our town for so long, and I'm just honored. Thank you for all the things that you said about me. I could say a lot about you too, and good things, don't worry. So thank you all so much again, and it's an honor. Thank you.
So this proclamation is for Mason Bardo. So Mason, if you want to kindly come up. Joe, are you so short? Just joking. All right, so here it is. Whereas the Scouts BSA helps train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well into the future. And whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Scouts BSA which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of scouting is the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Mason Christopher Bardo from Scouts BSA Troop 170 completed the requirements for Eagle Scout, and whereas Mason Bardo dedicated his Eagle Scout project to cleaning, restoring, and reclaiming the northwest upper portion of the Hillside Cemetery in Unionville, and whereas Mason Bardo's project involved careful planning and coordination with the trustees of the Hillside Cemetery, and in consultation with representatives from the Hine Farm to differentiate between native flowers, invasive species, and weeds. And whereas Mason Bardo's project involved clearing trails and installing water breaks, trimming back trees, and restoring the natural areas found around the cemetery headstones. And whereas Mason Bardo graduated from Farmington High School in 2022, where he was a member of the swim team, the crew team, and the Nutmeg Youth Triathlon team. And whereas Mason Bardo currently attends Central Connecticut State University in the intention of obtaining a bachelor's degree and a master's in mechanical engineering. And whereas Mason Bardo enjoys photography and capturing the natural beauty of the outdoors, which he learned to appreciate through scouting. And whereas, as a result of Mason Bardo's work, he lives the lives of the public and wildlife of Farmington and Unionville be enriched and enhanced for years to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend Mason our best wishes and hereby proclaim June 14th, 2023 as Mason Bardo Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 13th day of June, 2023. C.J. Thomas, Chair. Thank you.
Ed, you're up.
Okay, we have another Eagle Scout proclamation, and it seems like Farmington always has an abundance of Eagle Scouts, which is a good thing to see both of you continuing that tradition in this town. Hunter Zetujian, if you could please come up. Okay, and I'll read the proclamation. Whereas the Scouts BSA helps to train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well in the future, and whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Scouts BSA which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of scouting in the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scouts, and whereas Hunter Zetujian from Scouts BSA Troop 68 completed the requirements of Eagle Scout, and whereas Hunter Zetujian dedicated his Eagle Scout project to constructing 2 bog bridges in seasonally wet portions of the hiking trails at the Farmington Memorial Forest. And whereas Hunter Zetujian's project involved obtaining permits from the Conservation Commission and procuring construction materials from Sanford and Hawley Incorporated. And whereas Hunter Zetujian's project has improved the accessibility of the hiking trails during wet times of the year and has reduced the environmental impact of hikers on the forest and wildlife. And whereas Hunter Zetujian is a graduate of Avon Old Farms High School, where he enjoyed playing football, and whereas Hunter Zetujian currently attends High Point University, where he studies business administration. And whereas Hunter Zetujian enjoys the outdoors and is an avid deep sea fisher, and whereas, as the result of Hunter Zetujian's work, the lives of the public and the wildlife of Farmington and Unionville will be enriched and enhanced for years to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend our best wishes and hereby proclaim June 15th, 2023 as Hunter Zaytujian Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 13th day of June 2023, C.J. Thomas, Chair. Congratulations. Oh, you got your hat.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead. Yep, go ahead. Mike D'Amico is coming to the podium. He's going to have proclamations for the 2 Eagle Scouts. And one for Kayla.
Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. Chair. Congratulations to Kayla. And of course, congratulations to our 2 Eagle Scouts. So we'll get 2 for the price of 1, Mr. Chair, to not to take too much time. So I have citations from the state legislature for both Hunter and Mason. So I don't know if they want to come up and get a little more recognition. That's up to them. But I will start. So from the state of Connecticut, General Assembly official citation introduced by Representative D'Amico, Representative Cooley, Senator Slapp, and Senator Lopes. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly offers its sincerest congratulations to Hunter Zaytujian, did I say that right? And to Mason Christopher Bardo in recognition of your elevation to the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest achievement in scouting. You can be proud of the good work that you've done for your community, which will benefit from your dedication and your perseverance. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success. Given on this 13th day of June, 2023 at the state capitol, and it's signed by the President of the State Senate, Martin Looney, Speaker of the House, Matt Ritter, and the Secretary of the State, Stephanie Thomas. Congratulations to Hunter and to Mason.
I have a proclamation for Jerry Pagano. If Jerry would like to come up. How you doing? So the proclamation reads as, whereas Justin Jerry Pagano served on the Farmington Housing Authority as Commissioner and Vice Chairman from 1989 to present, and as Council Liaison from 1983 to present, and was elected Chairman in 2006. And whereas Justin Pagano served as a member of the Farmington Town Council from 1977 to 1981 and from 1983 to 1989. And whereas Justin Pagano also served on Farmington Human Relations Commissions in positions of Commissioner and Council Liaison from 1979 to 1989. And whereas Justin Pagano was an active member of the Farmington Board of Tax Review from 1973 to 1977, and whereas Justin Pagano served as president of the Board of Directors of the Farmington Exchange Club from 1983 to 1984, as vice president from 1982 to 1983, as secretary from 1975 to 1982, Justin also served as the Connecticut District Secretary, vice president, president-elect, and president from 1985 to 2002, and continues serving as Connecticut Past District President since 1990. And whereas Justin Pagano served as notary public from 1970 to 2004 and continues to serve as a Justice of the Peace since 1971. And whereas Justin Pagano has received numerous honors and awards recognizing his achievements, efforts, and accomplishments from his active participation in Farmington, as well as his commitment to Central Connecticut State University, the Department of Health, Education and Welfare, the Knights of Columbus, and various other local and national organizations. And whereas Justin Pagano has always maintained a focus on the public good and acted to protect the public interests over private interests while donating countless hours of time, energy, personal commitment to our better community and enrich the lives of the residents of the town of Farmington. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council, by recommendation of the Farmington Housing Authority, hereby commends Justin Pagano for being an exemplary servant to the community, and we hereby thank him for his selfless dedication, many years of service, and immeasurable contributions and commitment to the town of Farmington and its residents. The Farmington Town Council hereby extends to Justin congratulations on his commitment to the community. Dated this the 13th day of June, 2023, Farmington, Connecticut, C.J. Thomas, Chair.
Yep, come on. Jerry, don't go far. Jerry, don't go far. Mike has got you too.
Jerry, I don't want you to get mad at me, so I had to get you one of these. You're certainly well-deserving. So again, it's a citation from the General Assembly introduced by D'Amico, Cooley, Slapp, and Lopes. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly offers its sincerest congratulations to Justin Jerry Pagano in recognition of your 50 years of dedicated service to the town of Farmington and its residents. As a town councilor, housing authority commissioner, human relations commissioner, notary public, justice of the peace, exchange club president, and Democratic Town Committee member, you have bettered your community and helped improve people's lives. The residents, businesses, and institutions of Farmington and Unionville are the beneficiaries of your 5 decades of selfless and conscientious service. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for continued success, and it's given on June 13th at the state capitol, signed by Martin Looney, President of the Senate, Matt Ritter, Speaker of the House, and Stephanie Thomas, Secretary of the State. Jerry, well-deserved, and congratulations.
I spent a lot of time in this room, as you may have seen from what they wrote on here. And I would like to say thank you to the council, and I'd like to say thank you to Mike for the proclamations and the citation. Earlier in this meeting, you heard the name Steve Fliss come up. Well, I served when Steve Fliss was here. And through that administration, through the Wontorek administration, through the Kathy Egan administration, and now into the Kathy Blonsky administration. And it was interesting to me to see a Baron receive a scholarship. And the problem with being around a long time, you deal with a lot of these people, and the thing that was sticking out in my mind is Jean Barron served a lot of time on the school board, and also Jean Barron was a woman who would voice her opinion on many occasions. And this occasion was the occasion of my riding a motorcycle on the bike path, and Jean Barron was jumping up and down and screaming, and I told her, Jean, take it easy, I'll ride slow and I won't kill anybody on this path. And to this date, I still remember her jumping and shouting and going through these stories. So it's my memory of Jean Barron. Oh, you're here. But again, thank you to the council, thank you to Mike, and thank you for the citizenry of Farmington for keeping me in these positions and helping me to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. And evidently you started all this when you were 15 years old? We have 3 more proclamations, but I'm going to make you all an offer right now since there is a graduation going on right up the street. If you would like to slip out at any time, you're welcome to go because I don't know what traffic is going to look like once the graduation ends. So if you want it, we'll take a short break here if anyone wants to depart at this point. Not you.
See ya.
There's people that
Of course.
And I thought, there's like 30 people. 15 years, let me tell you. 15 years, I finally put my foot down with Alexis, and look what happened.
Hit the button. We're muted.
Yeah, I mean-
We're muted.
It's good.
No, you have to hold it.
it down, it mutes it.
You have to keep your hands on it.
15 minutes, give them an hour.
That's all she gave you though? Just
the back of the head,
Take care.
I had a MRSA infection 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
It looks
There's
better.
more to the story.
Because it's just an open, not an open.
Did you get it from like a haircut?
No.
Take care.
I'm not sure how I got it, but I got it into my blood, and that's where I wanted to come out. Right. Spent some time getting it opened it up.
Go to the screen up there.
I think that's just you. It looks normal to me. What's in your teeth? Whoa.
So on the back of his head, and he had to get it lanced, and it was actually right over there, and it
Yeah.
was just like, I don't know, if it was
Yeah, Dave, I-
haircut or something, but it was
Some
like,
kind of
just like,
staph infection.
yeah, so it was like infected, and
Yeah.
my neighbor is the prosecutor, and he was like, sure, we took him to the house, so we had him go to the,
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think her name is.
and then
Maybe I'm just.
had his assistant, just like, it was just like incredible.
I remember what she looked like. She had the hair.
But it was really, she was
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
I feel like she might be too young.
Yeah, I've had a rough go of it. So I had a staph infection at the end of January. And then about 3 weeks later, I had another staph infection, which turned to MRSA.
I have the biggest front.
And then about 2 weeks ago, I got it again.
Is there like something that
I'm going to see an infectious
swim or-
disease. No,
All right, I think that's not.
I'm not sure. I'm going to see a doctor who specializes in this.
Brian.
You're up. With it now.
Is there a proclamation down there?
Yes. Just wing it.
Just
This guy, born ready. He's ready.
Bringing these just.
Okay, we will now continue our town council meeting with our next proclamation. Brian.
Made you a hero.
Thank you.
Hopefully they get out before it goes.
Yeah,
Ending soon.
they got a lot of names to get through.
Okay.
It is my privilege to read this proclamation to you today in recognition of International Pride Month. Whereas the month of June is recognized internationally as Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall riots in June of 1969, where people in the LGBTQ+ community in New York City courageously fought back against harassment and discrimination. And whereas the town of Farmington cherishes the value and dignity of each person and understands the importance of equality and freedom. And whereas Farmington denounces prejudice and unfair discrimination based on age, gender, identity, gender expression, race, color, religion, marital status, national origin, sexual orientation, or physical disability. And whereas the town of Farmington believes that a diverse population leads to a more vibrant community and appreciates the cultural, civic, and economic contributions of the LGBTQ+ community. And whereas the town of Farmington believes that every human being has the right to live their life openly as who they are. All are welcome in Farmington to live, work, play, and prosper. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Farmington Town Council hereby proclaims June 2023 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the town of Farmington, and we call upon our community to recognize the contributions made by the LGBTQ+ community and actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice. Dated this 13th day of June, 2023 at Farmington, Connecticut. C.J. Thomas, Chair, Farmington Town Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Number 6. Whereas our country is made up of people from every nation on earth who are declared equal not only in freedom, but also in justice, both of which are essential for a healthy human citizen. And whereas the United States of America, in declaring its independence on July 4th, 1776, proclaimed, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with uncertain, unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, which holds that all persons held as slaves within the state or designated part of a state shall be then forced forever free, changing the legal status of 3.5 million enslaved people. And whereas January 31st, 1865, Congress passed the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, abolishing slavery throughout the United States and its territories. And whereas the news of freedom disseminated gradually throughout the nation, that on June 19th, 1865, 2 months after the official surrender of the Confederacy at Appomattox, and almost 2.5 years after President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, and issued General Order No. 3, announcing freedom to the last enslaved people of the United States. And whereas June 19th, Juneteenth is nationally recognized as a National Freedom Day, Emancipation Day, Jubilee Day, and Juneteenth Independence Day, the oldest holiday commemorating the abolition of Satan slavery in the United States. And whereas on the anniversary each year, our nation celebrates African American heritage, history, freedom, and culture with events and ceremonies that reflect the power of the community, family, art, and tradition in the face of oppression. And whereas the town of Farmington has joined together with surrounding valley towns to provide the inaugural Juneteenth celebration featuring music, activities, and food on June 17th, 2023 at the Simsbury Meadows Performing Arts Center. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Farmington Town Council encourages the people of Farmington to join to celebrating Juneteenth as a day of honor and reflect on the significance of all African Americans in the history of the United States. Dated the 13th of June, 2003, by C.J. Thomas, Town Council Chair.
This next proclamation is for National Gun Violence Awareness Day. The proclamation reads, whereas the first Friday in June is declared as National Gun Violence Awareness Day to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence, and to declare that we as a country must do more to reduce gun violence. And whereas every day more than 100 Americans are killed by gun violence and are 25 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. And whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton, a teenager who marched in the presidential inaugural parade and was tragically shot and killed just weeks later, should be now celebrating her 25th birthday. And whereas to help honor Hadia and the more than 100 Americans whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors who were injured by shootings, a national coalition of organizations has designated June 2nd, 2023, the first Friday in June, as the 9th National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, a color chosen because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters in the woods, and orange symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas by wearing orange on June 3rd, I think it should be June 2nd, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor lives and lost human potential of Americans stolen by gun violence. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Farmington Town Council declares the first Friday in June, June 2nd, 2023, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and encourages all citizens to support their local community's efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. Dated this second day of June 2023 in Farmington, Connecticut, C.J. Thomas, Town Council Chair.
Okay, I think we're done with proclamations. Unless Mike's sneaking one in the back there. Okay. We'll go on to item D, public hearing. I believe we have none. Item E, new items, none also. Item F, public comment. This is the time when we bring anyone here with us today the opportunity to speak to us. We ask them to give their name and address and to try and limit their comments to 5 minutes in respect to everyone else here in the audience. And we also, after those in the public here, we will ask anyone online if they have questions. So first we'll ask anyone who is here with us today. Is there anyone who would like to speak?
I would, Mr. Chair.
Please do.
I will be brief. Hopefully 3 minutes instead of 5. So, good evening. My name is Mike D'Amico. I live at 6 Deborah Lane. I'm the state representative for the 21st District. And I just wanted to start off by congratulating the council for the 3 proclamations that were most recently issued for Pride Month and Juneteenth and Gun Violence Awareness Day. I think those are all really important to be recognized, and I commend the council for doing that. So thank you. So I just want to give you a brief overview of the state budget that was recently passed by the legislature just last week and how it affects Farmington. So I'm sure you've all read the headlines that we have a balanced budget for the state, and it was done at the insistence of the governor with no gimmicks, and there are no gimmicks. So we did not exceed the volatility cap that we instituted for ourselves a few years ago. We did not exceed the spending cap. So it was all done straight up. We were able to put away about $3 billion into the rainy day fund this year, in addition to what we did last year. We also put down a little more than $2 billion into the unfunded liability, the pension liability that has been a big problem for the state for decades, really. So we were able to accomplish that. And in addition, and I'm sure you've read about this in the media, we were able to fund many programs, but the thing that I'm sure most people keyed in on was the fact that we are, and the governor just signed it just the other day, the budget provides for income tax reduction rates, reduction in some of the income tax rates, which will affect about 60% of the population in Connecticut, according to the people in the know, and it will result in about $600 million savings total for the residents of Connecticut. So that was certainly significant, and certainly that's gotten a lot of attention. What has gotten less attention is what happened to Farmington, and I think you'll be pleased to know that Farmington made out pretty well in this year's budget. Along with my colleagues, from the Farmington delegation, and working with leadership and working with all of you, we were able to get some positive things done. So as the town manager noted in her report here, Farmington is going to get an increase in overall grant money that comes from the state, particularly in the pilot grant, the payment in lieu of taxes that compensates us for our state property that's here in Farmington that can't be taxed. So more pilot money, and in addition to that, more ECS money, education cost sharing money. The town manager, Kathy indicated that, and I just wanted to highlight that for all of you. In addition to that, the overall state aid to Farmington, when you add in the pilot that we just talked about, the ECS money for education, the town aid road and the LoSIP money and all the other funding that comes to us, we got a significant increase. So according to the figures that I have seen, and I think these are accurate, but we can talk about it later if you like, Farmington in this fiscal year that's about to end received a total of $6.5 million in statutory grant money from the state, so $6.5 million. The fiscal year that starts in a couple of weeks on July 1st, Farmington is slated to get $7.3 million total, and then in the fiscal year that starts in July of 2025, about a year from now, Farmington is scheduled to get it's a little over $8 million, so let's call it $8 million. So we're going to go from $6.5 million to $7.3 million to $8 million, which is certainly a big help at budget time, as you are all well aware. So just wanted to point that out. One other thing I wanted to point out is money for school construction. So we had a referendum a couple of months ago to add more money to the appropriation for the new high school. I believe it was around $9 million. Well, you'll be happy to know, as scheduled and as it should be, we're getting a 30% reimbursement on that. So that's an additional close to $3 million. So the bottom line is that the high school project, which is $141 million total, I believe, well, of that $141 million, $42 million of it in total will be reimbursed by the state of Connecticut, leaving the taxpayers in Farmington with a bill for $99 million, which is a lot of money, but $99 million is a better number than $141 million. So that's what happened in the legislature at budget time. I don't want to belabor it, or you guys have a lot of work to do, but I will just make you the offer if you want to discuss it in detail, if you want to discuss any other aspects of the legislative session that just concluded, I'm happy to come in and talk to you individually, talk to you, in front of the whole council, and I'm sure my colleagues in the delegation would be happy to do the same. So
Great.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Let me just ask one quick question before
Yes.
you go. The 30%, is that what we will get on construction projects going forward? Because we talked about this earlier in the conversation.
I wish I could say yes, Mr. Chair. That is a one-time, as you probably know, Farmington, by the formula that's currently in place, Farmington gets about a 19%, was scheduled to get a 19% reimbursement, which is why it was such a great thing that we were able to, with your help, with some pushing from my colleagues, the senators and the reps from Farmington, we were able to boost it from 19% up to 30%. But next year is a different year, and the next school project, there's no guarantee that will happen. However, I will tell you, there's been a big push to alter or modernize that formula. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, we will get put into the formula better than a 19%. But we got 30%. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's Mike. That's 30% is definitely better than 19%.
Yes,
and
it
as
is.
we had, I won't belabor it here, but the 19% is really kind of egregious that it's always that low. That's why we started that conversation about the 30%, and
Right.
hopefully we can get that straightened out for future projects.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
I'm
Appreciate it.
happy to
May I
pitch
ask
in.
one question?
Go ahead.
We were taken out of the running for the grant to do the airflow things on the top of the buildings. I don't even know
Right.
what they were called. So is that program going forward for next year? And it's like,
My understanding is, yes, it will. In other words, I believe it's done for this year, but if you submit something for next year, I will check. I don't want to go through a lot of effort for nothing, but I'm pretty confident that you submit it for next year, that it'll be available for next year.
that program is still being funded going forward, though?
I believe yes.
Okay.
But I will not say yes 100%. I will find out.
Okay,
I will find out.
We talked about.
Because there are a lot of towns. There are a lot of towns that want to do this. Every town should really do it. To have better airflow in all the schools. But it's going to cost a significant amount of money. So let me check on that before I give you a definitive answer.
All right, thank you.
Mike.
All right.
Okay. 7 minutes, but we asked you questions.
Boy, I'll tell you, you're tough. You're tough.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Do we have anyone online who would like to ask a question?
We do. We have Tim Kelly.
What's that? Yes, I'm sorry. Public comment, excuse me. Tim Kelly, please.
Yes, can you hear me in the room?
We can.
Great, okay. I'll catch you up here a little bit. I wanted to offer an update to the council. I attended a meeting this afternoon at the nearby New Horizons complex, which, as you know, provides specialized housing and services for our disabled community, specifically the wheelchair folks you see in Unionville. The New Horizon residents and a fair number of neighbors showed up. It became apparent as the director, Carol Fitzgerald, spoke that the New Horizon mission has fundamentally changed. They are no longer going to house just disabled individuals with unique needs. A significant number of units at the complex would be offered as affordable housing apartments. The plan now is to bring in refugee families to live in the housing at New Horizons. This would include both adults and children. This seemed a little strange to me since we recently went through the process to authorize, fund, and build a much larger footprint at the New Horizons campus to handle the alleged increased needs of our wheelchair clientele. So we're not even done with the building program, and now they're redirecting units for a very different purpose. Anyway, it was interesting to hear the rather loud concerns expressed by the current New Horizon residents during the extended meeting time. Apparently, they were caught off guard by this and certainly not happy. But more alarming was the rationale supplied by the director, that the state had essentially stipulated to her that funding to New Horizons would or could be cut if they essentially didn't play ball and supply affordable housing to, at this point, refugees. She went on to say that without the required state funding, there would be no New Horizons for anybody. I'm not sure what the awareness is among our Unionville representatives and town management, but at a minimum, we should have a zoning board process for changing this property from residential to affordable housing. If there is more knowledge on this situation in the room, I'd love to hear it during the meeting tonight. And I'd like to know who the point person is on this topic at Town Hall. My sense is there's a chance this issue is bigger than it currently appears. Maybe we need to rethink our infrastructure strategy on Monteith Drive. Instead of having 2 town halls, use the American Rescue Funds to remission the 1928 building as refugee housing instead of offices. The current town hall becomes almost 20% bigger when the school department moves out into the 900 wing. And overall, the last thing we want is a zero-sum deal where, we subtract from our disabled citizens, to help another group. I look forward to your thoughtful interaction on this important topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Kathy, who would you be reaching out to?
Well, do you want me to just give a very quick
Sure.
synopsis? This
Absolutely.
is something that was just brought to my attention the last day or so. We can get more information on it, but what my understanding is that Mr. Kelly is correct on some of his assumptions about what the state and federal government is doing. And I take it back to, let's just say Maple Village, our complex here. In the old days, Maple Village was for senior housing, and that's what it was for. As time has been going on, the state and federal housing laws have said that they do not want to, and I'm simplifying this, they don't want to have just elderly housing or veterans housing or disabled housing. They want it more integrated. And even in Maple Village, now you'll see in our Maple Village housing complex that once was all elderly people, now have people with some disabilities. They have young people in it. They have people with some mental health issues. And that's kind of the whole philosophy that of subsidized types of housing and different types, that they want it more inclusive and different types of people merging together. My understanding, again, of New Horizons, just brought to my attention, we were not familiar with this, is that to continue to receive some of the money that New Horizons received, they need to make their housing not just for the population that exists right now. And one of the options is refugees. And that's one of what I say, if a box of when you get grant funding and different things, they can hit that box and that you bring people in. My understanding, again, the town hasn't been really asked their opinion. I'm not sure how the change in zoning, but I will research that to see if there's any difference in that, because I don't think the town really has any say in this at all when it comes to this. But my understanding is that they are looking at different ways, and they were looking at refugees, more particularly people from the Ukraine. And that's where it was. And it was a very small percentage of the housing that already exists there. So that's kind of what I've learned today, a little bit about it. Nancy Parent has been involved. I do have a phone call with the executive director tomorrow. She's going to give me a briefing on what's going on, and so I'll follow up. But like I said, it just came to my attention, I think, late yesterday, and I talked to Nancy Parent about it today, and that's how she explained it to me. So that's where we are.
Thank you. We'll try and get some more information if you can get that for us, and we'll discuss it at the next meeting a little further.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Great.
And I do, the other thing is, I think that Mr. Kelly is right. We have received, just in the last day or so, quite a few. There was a letter that went out to all the residents from someone that was anonymous. There was a lot of misinformation in that letter that went out to the entire neighborhood, which that's, I think, why it was brought to my attention. So an anonymous letter was distributed with a lot of inaccurate information. So that's, I think, why a lot of people are familiar with it in that neighborhood.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Tim. Is there anyone else online who would like to make a public comment?
I don't see any other hands.
If anyone would like to make a public comment, now is the time to raise your hand. If you are not raising your hand, we'll move on to our next item. Seeing no hands raised. Moving on to reading of the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for May 9th, 2023, regular town council meeting.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments or amendments to the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Item H, reading of communications and written appeals. Kathy?
We have a letter here that we actually sent to Representative Mike D'Amico and our other legislative delegation about one of the bills, HB 6633, and it's an act concerning needs assessment of fair share. My understanding is, and I haven't had a chance to go through it, is that there was a bill that was passed, but it was a much more, I would call, watered-down version of what was, which I think would be acceptable to the town of Farmington, but I have not yet gone through it in detail about what exactly it was. But I think that many towns in CCM wrote to our delegation saying they were unhappy with the way that the bill was written, and it was, I think, considerably watered down from where it started.
Okay, if you could just let us know at the next meeting if there are any concerns of that, otherwise,
Yeah.
thank you. And that is all for written communications. Moving on to reports of committees, 1928 building.
Yes, we met this afternoon, and we have authorized the town manager to go ahead and sign some contracts with the Silver Petrocelli Associates for the architectural part of the future town hall of the 1928 building.
Great, thank you. Farmington High School Building Committee.
Construction continues to go. We are still on schedule, relatively on budget. So we're on budget as well, which is always a good thing. And our next meeting is next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday, the 21st of June at 5 o'clock at FHS Library.
Thank you. I like the on budget, not so much the relatively part in there. Unless that means you're low, which is good. We like that. Green Efforts Committee.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Land Acquisition Committee.
We have nothing to report.
Okay. Racial Equality Task Force.
We will be meeting tomorrow, as in our last meeting, and I spoke of earlier in our proclamation, there will be a celebration in Simsbury for Juneteenth at the Simsbury Meadows Performing Arts Center. And we'll also have a table at the Hillstead's Juneteenth celebration, which is on June 23rd.
Great, thank you. We will now move on to reports of the council chair and liaisons. We will, of course, start with the all-important chair report. Just as a reminder, since graduation is going on at the high school right now, unfortunately, we have a meeting we could not attend, but we wish them all well. As school is over and the warm weather is approaching, most of us will be spending a lot more time out of doors, whether it's on our trails, by the river, in the parks. I would just ask you all to remember, whatever you carry in, please carry out. And there are no rules that say you can't carry out more than you carried in. So if you have a little bag with you, you can fill it up and pick up those who just forgot to bring things out. So let's keep our town as clean as we can over the summer months. We get to find all kinds of interesting items left by the riverside in particular. I won't even go into the list of some of the things I've found when I'm down there, but if you can just pick them up and carry them out, and if someone else is there, a gentle reminder is good. I wouldn't get into a loud argument with it, but a gentle reminder to try and get things to be carried back out. June 22nd, I believe, and Maureen can help me on this, is our Top Dog event. Is that when we're picking Top Dog? And then they can still put in their applications?
They can submit a photo.
Submit a photo of the dogs. Okay, so we'll be picking our top dog, and keep that in mind. Submit that to the town clerk. Thank you. Few events coming up this month. New Horizons, they are having their 63rd Strawberry Festival. That's going to be held June 22nd. The Unionville Museum right now is doing, I believe they're running the two historic homes of Lovey Street. So that's going to be going on, I think, through the end of the month. The Farmington Historic Society is having their Amistad Walk on Saturdays at 10 a.m. at the First Church of Christ. It is $15, a nice donation. There is also a community meeting tomorrow night at 5:30 right here in the council chambers, where we'll be looking into creating 2 different cultural districts in town. Garmony Music Series is going to be held in the Barney Library this Thursday, 6 p.m. We will be having summer concert series on the Fliss Common. I believe it's going to be right next to the parking lot. I'm not quite sure where they're going to be having it right now. And the first concert, it'll be 6:30 on Thursday evenings. The first concert is Mass Confusion. The CERT wagon will be there serving food, so you can buy refreshments while you're there. And that is all that we have going on in town. I will move on to conservation and inland wetlands now.
Nothing new to report.
Okay. The Board of Education liaison.
So the Board of Ed met on June 5th and commended the class of 2023 for their outstanding work in academics, extracurricular activities, and service to others, including several very, very impressive senior award recipients. The board also voted to appoint Lisa Kopczynski as principal of IAR and approve the cafeteria contract renewal for next year, and also approve the Farmington school nurses contract from July of this year to 2026, June 30th of 2026. Lastly, they gave an update on summer learning opportunities in the district. So for those moms and dads who are home with kids, please go to the website. There are a number of different things you can do. There have extended school year special services, an Excel summer camp, and perennial favorite, band camp and strings camp.
Very good, thank you. Bicycle and Trails Advisory Committee. They have been working on targeted areas, looking at different paths, getting safe routes to and from just about anywhere you would like to go, and having different targeted goals. One of the ads we have, we're going to be adding some new blinking lights at different crosswalks. We got some additional money from the state for that, so thank you. So we'll be adding those blinking lights. When you're driving down the street and you see 2 bright yellow blinking lights, hit your brakes. That's the reminder for you to stop so people can cross the street. Just another one that I don't see people stopping too often. There isn't a blinking light or one blinking light. On Waterville, if you're going by the golf course, golf carts cross the path there. If you see a golf cart trying to get into the road, you're supposed to stop for them. just like you're supposed to stop for anyone walking across the street. So just a reminder, this summer, more people are outside. Look for people, look left and right. Economic Development Commission.
Yes, thank you, CJ. Instead of the regular monthly meeting, the EDC will be hosting a cultural district community meeting tomorrow, June 14th, in the town council chambers at 5:30 p.m. The meeting will discuss establishing cultural districts in both Unionville and Farmington, paying homage to our rich past while looking forward to the future. Amanda Roy from the Greater Hartford Arts Council will discuss the process of establishing a cultural district and what it means once a cultural district is designated. All of these questions and more will be discussed, so feel free to join us and learn about cultural districts.
Great, thanks, Ed. Farmington Historic District Commission.
Thank you. A couple of things to report. There was in last month's meeting, a 12 by 18 foot three-season room expansion was approved at 180 Garden Street. And thank you to the residents in the Historic District who do want to follow the rules in the Historic District to keep it looking as beautiful as it is right now. Thank you for that. We also received an informal presentation from Rose Ponte on the establishment of the cultural districts. And as you've heard, we're meeting here tomorrow at 5:30 to discuss that further. Also, Town Planner Shannon Rutherford emailed the commissioners to let them know that a new door has been installed at, it's not a Dutch door, but at the Hartford Baking Company, but it is within the specifications that the Historic District was looking for, and it's a beautiful door. So I encourage everyone to go down there and check it out. And also, our next meeting is going to be next Tuesday, right here on June 20th at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Very nice. And what is the material of that door?
Metal, I heard.
No. Is it a wooden door? That was the goal, I thought.
Just a joke. I'm
Just
trying to
checking.
stir up controversy.
No, okay, never mind. I'm going to slow down next time I pass by. We'll see what the door looks like. Thank
You
you.
should go in for a muffin and check it out.
I think so, right after this. Housing Authority.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Human Relations Commission.
Nothing new to report, but I would like to thank Jay Toolin on the behalf of everyone on the HRC and here as well for his outstanding service. Jay will be stepping down after his term ends at the end of the month.
Thank you. And Jay, I didn't see your name on there. We used to get you at every meeting talking to us, so if you hear this on tape, thank you for your contribution over the years. Library Board.
The Library Board, after an extensive search, has hired their new director. Jocelyn Kennedy will begin September 5th. And then also, the library's summer reading kickoff is next Wednesday, June 21st, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Rain or shine. And then it says, bring a blanket. We've got a DJ. We've got a professional hula hooper, food trucks, free Italian ice. There's no reason not to go. So big day at the library next Wednesday.
So we're supposed to be reading while all that is going on?
I think you get your books, then you have a little party, and then you go home and read.
Okay.
Read yourself to
Do you
sleep.
still get prizes for the number of books that you read?
I think we can work out some kind of a stamp program for you, Rufina, throughout the summer. Just bring focus.
Okay, Town Plan and Zoning.
Planning and zoning met last night. The biggest news out of last night's meeting was a zone change that will pave the way for a new 3-story storage complex on Route 6. And then TBZ meets next. I had the date and I lost it. Monday, June 26th.
Great, thank you. Unionville Historic District Commission.
Yes, the Unionville Historic District Commission co-hosted a reception on this past Sunday at the Unionville Museum about the architecture and history of the historic homes on Lovely Street, as you talked about in your chair report. There was information about the various types of architectures of the homes found on Lovely Street. The exhibit also had tools and antiques from the Upson Nut Company, which has a rich history in Unionville. And one of my favorite parts of the exhibit was they actually have a stained glass display from the old Pentecostal church that was torn down in the 1960s, but they still had that stained glass. And they made a display that's lit up on the inside, so you can really see the beautiful artistry of that stained glass. And they also had a number of walking tours and through Lovely Street, the historic homes, and the exhibit will be open through July 19th, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the guided walking tours will be held on the following Sundays, June 21st, 25th, and July 9th, as well as Wednesday, July 5th and 19th. And the walking tours will leave from the Unionville Museum. And the next scheduled meeting of the Unionville Historic District is July 6th at 7 p.m.
Great, thank you. Unionville Village Improvement Association Liaison.
Yes, nothing new to report.
Announcing you took more than your report. That's not right. WPCA.
Tomorrow's meeting is at 7 p.m. in person or via Zoom, and nothing new to report.
Okay. Any other liaisons? Seeing none, we will move on to the report of the town manager.
You have the report in your packet. As we discussed, is the Juneteenth celebration, and Mike D'Amico talked about the state budget impact, and he was accurate that it appears that Farmington will receive $379,000 more in revenue that was projected in our 23-24 budget, and that was in the pilot grant, and it appears that we'll receive an additional $800,000 in education cost-sharing grant in next year's budget. So that would be quite helpful. And then I just wanted to just give you a quick snapshot about some of our recruitments that we have had over the past few months. We've talked about it in the past, but we have had some significant labor shortages. It's very difficult to get employees, and we did have 17 vacancies throughout the departments over the last few months, and we have been able to fill most of them between police officers, firefighters, highway and grounds, receptionists, assessment clerks, tax clerks, senior center coordinators, more highway employees, and a grant administrator. So we have a couple of more, but we've made some really good progress over the last couple of months trying to fill these positions.
Excellent.
And that's it.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the report of the town manager.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item L4. I'd like to make a motion that John Liu be appointed to the Human Relations Commission for a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2023, and then June 30th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any questions or comment? This is a reappointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item L5. Make a motion that Donna Mambrino be reappointed to the Human Relations Commission for a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2023, ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? Again, this is another reappointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item L6, I'd like to move to reappoint Mary Jane Parlow to the Plainville Area Cable TV Advisory Council for a term starting July 1, 2023, and running through June 30th, 2025.
Second. I have a motion and second. Another reappointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item L7, that Rose Ponte be appointed to the Tourism Central Regional District for a 3-year term beginning July 1st, 2023, ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item L8, make a motion that Paul Kraus be appointed to the Veterans Memorial Committee for a balance of a 6-year term, beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2028.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item L9, make a motion that Tyson Belanger be appointed to the Veteran Memorial Committee for a balance of a 6-year term, beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2028.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. And that is it for item L, appointments. Moving on to M, as in Mary, old business. I believe we have none, so we'll move right on to N, new business.
Make a motion to approve the town council meeting schedule for 2024 and to set the date of the annual town meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we've included the schedule with our minutes here. All in favor, we all opposed? Motion passed unanimously. There you go.
Agenda item N2, to approve the release of 76 square foot portion of Vista easement in favor of the town of Farmington to Brianna and Natalie Hint in exchange for a 234 square foot Vista easement in favor of the town of Farmington from Brianna and Natalie Hint, 21 Eli Road, R80 zone and to authorize the town manager to execute the modifications to the easement.
Second.
We talked about this at the last meeting, and we sent this to an 8-24. The town planning and zoning reviewed it and gave a positive report, so it's back for the town council. And as we discussed last time, is that the owners inadvertently encroached on 76 square feet of the conservation easement with the town of Farmington and proposed that an additional 234 square feet of land be incorporated into the easement as restitution.
Thank you. Kathy, any questions or comments on that? Seeing none. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Make a motion to appoint the members of the Farmington Historic District Commission as the Farmington Historic District Study Committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Kathy?
So when there's homes to be added into the historic district, we have to appoint a historic district study committee, and that is the same group as the Farmington Historic District Commission. So it's the same group of people.
Very good. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
This is a sad one. Make a motion to cancel the June 27th, 2023 Town Council meeting and to schedule a special Town Council meeting on June 15th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. in the Town Hall Pavilion at the Farmington Town Hall.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Questions, comments? That is this
Yeah, I got
Thursday.
one question.
Yes.
I saw one thing that said 6 o'clock. Is it 6:30 or 5:30? I'm just double checking.
We put it down for 5:30 if that works for everyone, but
Is 5:30 okay with everyone?
I'm
Yeah.
running a retirement board from 4:30 on, so I will tell them to be quick about it.
You're running
Make sure
the
everybody's
meeting,
money's in the
so
right
it's up to
place.
you.
sounds good.
I think I would be right now.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Make a motion to approve the following property tax refunds.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on this list before you? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item O, I believe in a moment we will be going into executive
Yes.
session. Before we do that, I will leave you with a quote. I did have the opportunity to listen to the students' speeches at graduation, and it seemed appropriate. One of the students quoted Miles, the current Spider-Man into the multiverse. So my quote will come from Stan Lee. Sooner or later, if man is ever to be worthy of his destiny, we must fill our hearts with tolerance. With that, item O.
I make a motion to move to executive session, discuss matters concerning the sale or acquisition of real property, to adjourn the meeting to executive session as permitted by the Connecticut General Statutes, Section 1-225, subsection A, for the following purposes as allowed by Section 1-200, subsection 6. That is discussion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now going to executive session. So for those of you online, thank you very much for joining us. We will be coming back very briefly, but this, in all intents and purposes, is our meeting. Thank you.